Hi, I'm Liam Fitzgerald and welcome to our special preview of an historic Hampden Football Netball League Grand Final this weekend. For the first time in league history, the Grand Final will be played on a Friday. In senior footy, the North Warrnambool Eagles will play Koroit, while the Saints will come up against the South Warrnambool Roosters in open grade netball. Southwest local news reporter Anthony Brady has spoken to all four top grade coaches in the lead up to the Grand Final. First, he caught up with North Warrnambool Eagles coach Nathan Vardy. The Eagles are chasing their first ever senior Hampden football flag, having finished runner-up 5 times.
Another big weekend for you guys. Looking forward to it?
Oh, definitely, mate. Definitely. Obviously, you want to be playing at this stage of the year, and it's been quite elusive for the footy club. So, we're excited to get the chance to try and overcome some of those heartaches in previous years.
How are you sort of dealing with that? I mean, without dwelling on it, obviously, because it's a new year. And is that the way you approach it, that just like this is just another opportunity?
Yeah, pretty much. Obviously, we want to make sure that we've taken learnings out of those, those results. But at the same time, we're just making sure we're really process focused, and it's natural for guys to think forward to outcomes with grand finals, but just trying to make sure we concentrate on what we need to do, and hopefully the outcome can take care of itself.
And I suppose what experience brings for grand finals is, your first one or two, everyone's just running on air and you forget about their process, I suppose. So this for you guys is an advantage as you've been there so many times that you now know it's just another game of footy you have to win.
Yeah, that's right to an extent. As much as you like to try and preach that it's another game of footy, it is a grand final, and there's no shying away from that. So we try to embrace that as much as possible. But it's probably without sort of doing a head count to who hasn't been in a grand final before. We've probably got 5, 6, 7 blokes that haven't. So we'll be able to draw on experiences and whatnot from those guys that have been part of a few. But obviously there's some guys that it's brand new to as well. So just trying to share the learnings and experiences as much as we can with them.
And second semi-final must give you some confidence, because Koroit traditionally over the last decade or so are really good starters, and when they get ahead, they're very hard to reel back in. For you guys to come from 4, nearly 5 goals down to be able to reel them back in, that hasn't been something that Koroit have allowed teams to do. That must be a good confidence boost for you guys.
It is, and it's going to be a different game, different oval. So we expect a different game of footy. Obviously, both sides will probably do things a little bit different, and personnel is going to be different. But we obviously identified that Koroit were fast starters, and they've been able to blow sides. Especially the last part of the year, been able to blow sides away early in the game, and they got away from us a little bit in that second quarter, but we knew our ability to run out games this year has been really strong, and if we were somewhere within a bull's roar of them by half time, we're quietly confident we could be still in the game come the final siren.
And what about yourself, mate? Obviously, you're a really important player, and you had a great year. Even though you've had some injuries, but when you've played, you've been so influential. Are you really enjoying that challenge, and you feel like you're in really good nick?
Really enjoying it, mate. Yeah, I'm a footy lover and a footy head, so I just love being involved. Obviously, probably the new challenge for me is the coaching side of things. So as much as I can, I play my role within what we're trying to do as a collective. But probably the coaching side of things is where the new challenge for me lies, and trying to get guys in the best headspace and the best form. Because it's no secret you sort of need majority of side to be in season best form or career best form to be able to win a premiership. So I'm really enjoying my footy. Obviously had a couple of little mishaps injury-wise this year, but in terms of playing, I'm just happy to play my role and be part of the side along with everyone else.
While the Eagles are after a breakthrough win for Koroit, it's all about adding to their war chest. The Saints won 7 flags in a row from 2014 to 2022 and are now back on the big stage. Koroit coach Chris McLaren is keen to make more premiership memories this weekend.
Obviously exciting again, mate, to be in the last game of the year again.
Yeah, it is, mate. It's boys have put a lot of hard work in. Probably this core group for probably the last 3 years, really. Real credit to them. They've put a lot of work in. They deserve to get another opportunity.
What do you think's your strength going in? Do you think it's your forward line? How potent it is?
Yeah, obviously we do have a powerful forward line, and if we can give them enough opportunities, most games this year we've been able to kick a good score. But finals games traditionally are a little bit lower scoring. So there's certainly some other things we're going to need to be good at if we think we can beat North Warrnambool on the weekend.
And what about them? Their strength, probably got a pretty strong midfield, haven't they?
Yeah, they certainly have. I mean, Vardy's such a dominant player, and that was shown in the second semi and then on Maskell night as well. But you look at their midfield group with, Matty Wines and McLaughlin and Grundy and Cobb and Keast and Barlow. And so, you can reel the names off. They've certainly got some firepower in there, that's for sure.
And what about Reed Oval? Weather's always a bit sort of funny this time of year, but it is a pretty unique sort of stage, grand final day. There always seems to be a wind belting through there, and it's often wet. It is a really sort of unique sort of stage, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be, mate. I mean, most finals, all our finals have had a wind element to them. A bit of an advantage one end or blowing across the ground. So it's probably something we get used to playing a Koroit a bit too. When the wind's howling there, it's pretty brutal. So you do need to have some plans in place for the conditions, whether it be wind or rain. But you sort of certainly expect that at this time of the year.
And with the conditions, you don't mind either way. I suppose it's just footy's about the momentum, I suppose, on the day rather than where you're playing or what the conditions are.
Yeah, a little bit, mate. I mean, we've had sort of, we've been at Mortlake, we've been at Hamilton, we've been at Portland. All those grounds are quite unique and different to each other. So weather's a little bit the same, where I think everyone would love a 20-degree, no wind, sun out, perfect day. I don't really have a concern of, whether it's wind or rain. I mean, most people or all people, I assume, would just say we're in a grand final and we'll play in whatever conditions we get on whatever surface we get.
And this one it hasn't snuck up on you. It probably has a lot of other people. But, you pleasantly surprised, or does it not surprise you this group's been able to get here?
No, not surprised because I know how hard they work. In our age demographic, sort of, we lost quite a few of those sort of really experienced core group of players sort of 2 years ago or 3 years ago now after our last premiership. Our core group of players now is sort of getting to that 21, 2, 3 mark, or not probably 23, 20, 21. So that's sort of when you start hitting your straps again. We think that, again, that core group of players for the next few years, if they stay and stick together, can certainly, be contending. So, not a surprise because I know how much work they put in.
And does this one, I mean, obviously you've had great success coaching. Does this one feel even more like your team?
Yes and no, mate. I mean, I was talking about someone yesterday that, we was lucky enough to win some premierships coaching, and you do get some people say it was off the back of Adam Dowie's success, which absolutely there was, but we had a run of success post Adam, but I certainly feel like every coach that Koroit's had, especially the premiership coaches, we've been so lucky, and my coaching, I take an element of all of those guys, and I think all of those guys should sit back and with a smile on their face and think they've contributed even to this group now. The foundations they lay and the standards they start to push and stuff like that is only followed by everyone like the players before them. I certainly take a lot off the coaches that have coached before me. All of them not as great as Adam is, and he's been a huge impact on my career. I take something off all of them.
In open grade netball, Koroit is keen to bounce back after losing last year's decider to South Warrnambool. The young Saints have been the form team of the finals, and coach Denil McInerney is hoping her team's hot streak continues.
First of all, congratulations on making the grand final. It's pretty exciting again for you.
So exciting. We obviously made it last year, and I guess your expectation is you want to get there again this year. Sort of got a higher expectation than potentially we had last year. So so very excited to get in there.
Do you feel at the start of the year you were not written off, but maybe a little undervalued of what you might be?
Yeah, I probably felt like people probably did underestimate because we did make it last year, but no one really talked. But I don't mind that. I don't mind going under the radar a little bit. We knew at the club what we had and what potential we had because all our girls being so young, they only get better and better each game, really, let alone each year. So it didn't bother me too much, just knowing that all my girls had grown another 12 months, another year, and pretty much we had the similar side to last year, but we gained back Layla Monk from her ACL injury last year, which is a massive into our team. And then Chloe Gleeson is new, being like she's 15 years old, so she played a couple of games last year, but her being a better player than she was in those couple of games last year was obviously another big in for us as well.
Such a young team. As a coach, how's that to deal with?
Oh, it's so good. I love coaching the juniors anyway. So I coach with Jess O'Connor. I coach the 15s and the 17s this year as well. So I've got 3 teams in on Saturday. So I love the juniors. I love the juniors the most. Like if you had to make me choose, I would choose the juniors just because they're so talented and easygoing and appreciative, and there's so much for them to learn. So all the girls have just got a great attitude that I love that they're young, and yeah, it's great.
And coaching against Will Jamerson, who's such a highly qualified netball person as a coach and as a player, that must have even helped your development, even though you've been around for a long time, coaching and playing. But to come against him must be a great challenge for you.
Yeah, well, South have obviously set the bar the last 3 years. I really think that's lifted the level of Hampden, like just with probably the style that Will's introduced. A lot of other clubs are implementing that similar style. So it only makes everyone better players and better coaches because then you have to, go back to the drawing board all the time. So it's exciting coaching against him. Yeah.
And on the weekend, what do you say to your girls? Given they're so young, you just let them go in the structure you've given them, or you just don't overcomplicate it too much?
No, not really. The girls, they've got there themselves. They've worked hard all year. They know what they need to do to win on Saturday, and so I won't overcomplicate it. Braids. We'll just let them enjoy it. Really, that 6 of the girls out of my side have got a game before that, so I think that'll be good for them to get some nerves out, and then we'll go from there.
Meanwhile, South Warrnambool is aiming for its 4th open grade netball premiership in a row, a feat achieved only once before. The history was created by South Warrnambool from 1987 to 1990, and coach Will Jamerson is hoping his current crop can match their club mates.
The grand final, mate, this weekend, another one for you guys. You excited to be there again?
Yeah, certainly excited. It's it's always a privilege to play in finals, let alone grand finals, and our team has done really well across the year to continue to develop. So we're excited for the challenge.
How aware are you guys of the history? Obviously, to try and get 4 in a row. Has that been spoken about at all?
Not necessarily. I mean, the last time that a club won 4 times in a row was South Warrnambool, so we love that there's that legacy in place for our club. But in terms of whether we use it as motivation, every every year that we've won has been different. We've had a different makeup of our team, so we sort of don't take too much weight of it into the new year. So yeah, if anything, it's a celebration of our legacy, but nothing that's sort of towards motivating us for this year.
And a bit different path this year through the preliminary final. How have you found that?
Yeah, I think the consistency in playing on weekends and the sort of the standard training schedule each week has probably held us in good stead. We've had a pretty interrupted season, both with injuries and unavailabilities, and sort of probably weren't as consistent throughout the season as we have been previously. So I think that consistency in games and training sort of leading into the grand final will hopefully hold us in good stead for sure.
And have you got your best team on the park this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got through all the finals without any injuries, and everyone's fit and enthusiastic and ready to go.
I suppose grand final day, it doesn't matter how many times you've been there. It's all sort of exciting and new again, isn't it?
Yeah, without a doubt. And, I think testament to the league this year and the how tight the competition is. Any team is worthy if they put a full 60-minute effort together. So we've just got to really make sure we're focused on what we have to do and stick to the game plan for as close to those 60 minutes as possible if we want to be successful.
And what about the power of youth, mate? I mean, even some of your established stars are still really young, and then you got a couple of them younger girls, teenagers coming through, and then you look at Koroit where they've got 15, 16-year-olds are the best players. It's amazing how young talent has just sort of really come to the top, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's some great youth playing in the open division across a lot of the clubs, and that's really promising for the future of our club. I think, we certainly have had the opportunity to develop some of our underage players this year, and a lot of them has debuted, which is really exciting for the future of South. But I think we sometimes forget, just because of how experienced and successful they've been, that some of our more experienced players, such as, Isabella Ray and Meg Kelson, they're sort of only 22, 23, and Holly Phillips, I think, 21. So they're still really young. And so to think that someone like Holly, who at the age of 21 is playing in her fourth straight grand final, it's pretty crazy to think that we sort of look at them as those experienced campaigners.
And Ellie O'Connor obviously went away in the middle of the year down in Melbourne, done a great job down there. I suppose she's almost, flew under the radar given, the interrupted season down here. But I suppose come grand final day, she's just going to be a weapon as usual.
Yeah, exactly right. She's huge for us, and not just in terms of what she brings to the game, but in terms of her leadership and her support of the players around her. But I think, there was almost an advantage in not having her throughout the season for long patches of that of the season, because it meant the players around had to sort of grow their own game and sort of be more than capable without her being on court with them. So I think there's definitely advantages in having not had her for part of the season, but it's great that we've got it back for the pointy end.
Should be a fantastic weekend. That's it for our grand final preview. From all of us at Southwest Local News, all the best to all the teams involved.